The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
When you play the game of lanes, you either win or you feed.
Shall we play a game?
Player to another.
And welcome to Nude Clan. This is Cameron,
Caleb,
Joe, and Caleb Craig.
How are you guys all doing today?
We're doing just fine.
Yeah, just
Cameron.
chilling, you know. This is our first ever lounge cast for me. I am currently sitting on the couch.
I am definitely
kicked back.
Definitely
Didn't you do
team
that
couch.
one other time?
Oh no, I did for the
Yeah.
Pokemon one.
We did it. We did it once
right.
before, and this couch
when we had no room for anybody.
is amazing.
Yeah.
I love this couch.
So what have we all been playing? I think that's the first question we're supposed to answer, right?
Yep.
Probably.
What have you been playing, Caleb Craig?
You know, I feel like I'm the only one who ever goes first in this, but it doesn't
Well, here's
matter.
the thing. Cameron, despite starting the episode, looks with big eyes as in, what do I do? And the first question is simply, what have we all been playing? And for some odd reason, I always feel like, oh shit, it's not happening yet. Now I have to start it, and you're always right next to me because we're sitting in the same fucking spots that we've always been sitting in. So yes, you're first, Caleb Craig. What have you been playing?
So what he doesn't say is he's always on the edge of having a heart attack because he's not patient. So
Well,
just
dead
couldn't
air
wait for the
is-
question to come out.
well,
Dead
it's
air is bad.
It's a podcast. You can't have dead air. You can't be like, so. Oh yeah, what is everybody playing? You just gotta go.
Yeah, Ultima had a lot of dead air early on, and when we were inexperienced, so it's something we don't want to return to.
What have you been playing, Caleb Craig?
Anyway, yeah, I've been playing Far Cry Primal.
Where's your
and,
one-liner? Where's your stupid joke?
My stupid joke?
Yeah, well, lately you've just had weird jokes that you awkwardly deliver.
See, now this is just an awkward thing. Go fucking
you. Yeah. Anyway,
this episode is to an awesome start. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been playing Far Cry Primal in preparation for our, Uber game review. And then Batman and I have been playing.
I'm sorry,
Destiny.
the Batman?
Yes, the Batman.
Get on Destiny.
He loves our podcast, and he has become a friend of mine, and so we decided to play Destiny. So anyway, I've been playing Destiny. I got the Taken King, so I've been doing that.
Did you take the king?
I did take the king.
Oh, okay.
That's gross.
Took him right in the ass.
You took the king. As in, you received the king.
No,
all right.
he received me.
See, I was
took
thinking
him.
you took the king as in you could take it either you kidnapped the king or you took his
No,
innocence.
I took his innocence.
Oh, but you just said you took him as in you took him with your own asshole.
No,
No.
I took him.
It's still
That
unclear to
sounds-
me.
That sounded like
You received him.
No,
No. So it's all about the inflection. It's I took him or I took him. And you were
feel like
definitely
you said the second one.
You're definitely I took him
no.
with a little bit of angst in there.
Well, he
was
did really like me when me and Batman were fighting the final boss. He was really only going after me. So
yeah. That sounds familiar.
but we fisted him in the end. So
Oh! So this entire night, you and Batman were going to take the king.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
Right,
That
which
what
is
we were doing.
awful, a horrible thing for
it
you to
was
do.
all right before he had to go to work.
And in the end, you fisted him.
yeah.
Was glass used though? Did you haze him? Because I know
No,
how much
no.
Batman likes to.
Glass?
Oh.
No. Shave
Jesus.
balls. Shave balls with glass.
Oh,
Did you clean it up before you went down, or
No.
okay? Caleb likes all natural. All right, is that all you've been playing?
Yeah, just those two.
All right, me. I've been playing Fallout 4 and been having a fun time taking my time.
Oh yeah, taking your time this time.
Yes.
Did you restart or
Rush
just
the
continue?
story.
No, I restarted since it's on my PlayStation now instead of yours.
Oh, that's right. You did.
I restarted from the beginning, and I haven't even done the main story. I just don't feel the need.
no need.
Well, you know how it
So-
ends, so
Well, you did rush through it the
Yeah, I
previous
did.
time.
And it's a lot easier this time around, and I have not had to buy anything from a store yet, and it's just been a lot easier doing what I've been doing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's been,
all. So you haven't played Primal at all? Or?
No, we just bought Primal yesterday.
Yeah.
So I have not touched it yet.
all right. Well, I have been playing Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII a lot. I'm still doing extra missions and stuff like that, cleaning up for the Ultima review, and I've been playing a lot of Game of Thrones Risk at work. I know that's not a video game, but it is a game.
Well, we are
Yeah,
just
we've
a review
played
channel,
some Catan, right?
Yeah, so we just review games.
Yeah. We could do that.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I've just been kind of doing that and not. I haven't really touched any other games. I play
So
Destiny
wait.
every so often.
You're playing this game of Risk at work.
Yeah.
Slow
Yes.
times.
Oh, yes.
Hey
awesome.
guys, a great work activity is Risk.
That's what I told him. I was
Hours
like,
and hours of fun.
hours
All
of
that
team
work.
building and deception and hating each other's voices afterwards. It's wonderful.
Hating each other's voices.
Yeah. One of the girls is like, Caleb, I hate the sound of your voice. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Dwayne's the
It had
one.
nothing to do with the game. She just felt like she should share that with you.
Yeah, she was tired of my, hey, you should attack this guy from here. That would be awesome. Like suggesting.
So it was you giving useless advice. That
It wasn't
got
useless. If
berated.
they would have listened, we could have killed Dwayne. But yeah, no, not been playing too many games. Few matches of Destiny.
I have a question about Crisis Core because I did play. You said it's Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core.
Yeah.
How far after Final Fantasy VII is this?
It takes
Not at
place
all.
about
or before?
takes place a couple years before.
Yeah,
So it takes place a few years before, but how long after Final Fantasy VII did it come out?
a long time.
10 years.
Yeah, 10-year anniversary.
The long-awaited prequel to Final Fantasy.
It
VII.
wasn't awaited, but
It just kind of came out.
But
It
people
did
really
come
liked
out.
it though. So
Because isn't Final Fantasy VII the most celebrated?
generally, yeah.
it's the biggest selling Final Fantasy game. I think it sold 10 million copies on the PlayStation. So it was I think it was also the second biggest PlayStation game ever.
Yeah,
PlayStation
Gran
1.
Turismo beat it, but yeah,
Yeah. So it's like a huge deal
Gran Turismo.
as far as
Bullshit.
JRPGs go, because most JRPGs don't sell nearly in the multiple millions range.
Yeah, and then we have the next game is a what is it? A sequel to 7. So it's after the events.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, we're in our prequels and sequel stages.
It's hot stuff.
And then we'll be moving on to straight on spin-offs
Oh yeah.
at some point. And I am actually it you know what? It feels like the beginning of the end as far as the Ultima podcast is concerned.
Yeah, but it's totally not.
Yeah, but it's not. 'Cause there's some long fucking games down the road.
It's true. All right,
And then
so-
they're continuously putting out new content too.
Yeah.
Can I talk about Risk for a second? Now, how many times have we gotten together to play a game and I have always been hammering for Risk? Would you say almost every time we've gotten together to play a game?
Yeah, pretty much
Not
every time.
almost, but
no,
yeah.
I'd
it
say-
would be every time.
The
I'd
last
say
time we played
probably-
a game, he didn't ask for risk.
He just
I'm talking
settled
about
with Catan.
years now. I'm talking about a backlog of
Okay.
years, not the backlog of the last 6 months. I'm talking about years and years of me going, guys, let's play Risk. And then everybody fighting against that.
You know what? The
Caleb
last-
plays Risk with his new roommate, and suddenly Caleb's favorite game is Risk.
Well, it's not my favorite game, but it is fun.
No,
you know what?
I love risk.
The last time we played Risk as a group,
When did all this happen?
the last time we played Risk as a group was when I lived
I
at
still hate
Pinnacle.
it, Joe.
No, it was like, hey, let's play Risk. And everyone's like, how about Monopoly? I'm like, no, I hate Monopoly. I want to play Risk.
See, and that's one thing that I hate is that you guys don't like Monopoly.
Well, it turns into Settlers versus Risk, and people are more familiar with Settlers.
I think Settlers is a better
We
game.
play with another guy named Dylan who was on the
Settlers
Pokemon episode, and
requires less strategy.
he hates Risk too. So it's really going against the two people that hate Risk.
I don't think it requires less strategy. It's both. They're both games of chance. You start out the game randomly placing troops in an area.
There's tons of strategy in Risk.
Yes, there is.
It's so random though. Like there is strategy still, but
There's random at the start, but honestly, you can be anywhere. You can have any continent and win the game.
yeah,
You just have to
can.
know how to use your troops and how to,
Hold
make deals.
Yeah.
It's all about the strategy of. It's more of a human strategy. It's not so much the solid strategy of the game itself. And I think that may be what some people have a problem with it, is that it's more about diplomacy.
Fuck your diplomacy.
Than it is about the actual game.
Yeah,
Well,
but I wish there was more of what like a consequence for breaking a diplomatic act you have with another player.
Yeah, it's called war.
But if you don't have the means to enforce it, then oh well.
When two countries have a treaty in real life, Cameron,
Right.
there's no one to police what to do with that treaty. The only option you really have is war
Yeah, it's really based
or
on
more treaties.
It's based on
Well,
your
in real
word.
life, there's other things you can do, such as sanctions.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's why.
trade embargoes and stuff. But you don't have that in Risk.
That's why Civ 5 is
so
the
would a
best
game
out
of
all
Risk
them.
just like end if everybody just like agreed to not attack each other?
No, the game ends when you win, which is by world domination.
World domination is the goal.
Which is why you got to be careful when you make deals, because at the end you have to die for the other
Because
person to
you
win.
know that someone else is always going to break whatever promise they make to you or whatever strategy you guys have. I mean, you could just be like, okay, me and you are Germany and Japan, right? And okay, you take that ocean, you just go straight for America, and then I'll just take over Europe and Asia, and we'll go on from there. But
Yeah, you take
eventually,
America, I'll take Europe and Asia.
it'll be Japan and
That's a fair
Germany
deal, isn't it?
having took over the whole world in a game of Risk. And you have nothing to do but more expanse. So you have to attack each other at the end.
Yeah, that's how it
That's
is.
how it works.
But
and I know it hurts you to no end.
It's just
But
Caleb's a feeler.
certain continents, they give so much more of an advantage than others.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they are.
here's the thing: some continents will give you like tons of troops, right? Every turn, if you have the whole continent, Asia and Europe. But those continents, those two in particular,
the hardest to hold.
the hardest to hold.
Yeah, so
they
it comes
have
at a
the
risk.
most. Yeah, it's pretty even around. There's the reasons why certain continents are at certain numbers, and they tested it and everything like that. It's hard to keep Asia. It is hard.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys
It's
want to?
easy to keep Australia.
Yeah, it
And
is.
so some people, I think like Timo, a friend of mine, he'll just take Australia. That'll be his thing. And he'll just hide up in Australia. And so when the other guy who's taken over probably the rest of the world goes in, he gets brutally weakened. And there is a way you can win with Australia. You have to be extremely patient, and you have to be extremely good, like where you put troops. And hopefully you got another section of your society that's colonized in South America or something, so that you're getting more and more troops to put in Australia. But I love that fucking game. I
It's a
have
fun
no
game.
idea why you hate it so much, Caleb Craig.
just don't care for it.
Sounds like that's what we're doing.
Caleb Craig doesn't care for any game that has to do with like diplomacy, do you?
No, that's not true. I really enjoy Civ 5.
Yeah, you enjoy Civ 5, okay. But that's because you can win in other ways besides warfare.
yeah, it doesn't take
I've won through Warfare.
Yeah.
against who?
Against the computer. That's who.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can change difficulties.
What you do, Caleb, is you get one giant city, you turtle up, and then try to go for the culture win. That's
well,
what you
it's
do.
different now, though. It's harder to do that.
I
You can do
can't
culture,
that anymore.
science, win.
It's got to be science now.
Yeah, science is the
Science
only way.
is so much fucking easier now.
We have to try the new Civ 5 with the space.
That's a different one. But
Beyond Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's play it.
We should do that sometime.
yeah, as a review game, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be sweet. All right. Do we have a question, Twice?
Yes, we do.
Actually, before questions, sorry. Let's do some real quick plugs just to remind the people out there to please show us that you exist by going to facebook.com/Nude Clan Podcast. For Facebook, that's spelled NEWD. You can go to nudeclan.net and you can join our forums there. You can find us at twitch.tv/Nude Clan Gaming, Nude Clan Podcast @gmail.com. And you can tweet me at Joseph DeGaulier.
Me at Obsidian Ba.
Me at Nude Clan Cam, and I would like to say thank you to those who have been tweeting me so I don't feel so alone.
Oh. Isn't that
Lame.
nice?
All right, me at UFF Podcast, as always.
And yeah, just tell us you exist, ask us questions, and all that other good stuff. What's our question?
All right, so this week. Oh, also, I want to plug Geek to Geek podcast. It's one of the guys that helped us out a shitload in the beginning of Ultima Final Fantasy. His name's Void. He's got a blog. It's
greenmushroom.com.
Yeah, greenmushroom.com, and he started a podcast. With some dude named Beej, Professor Beej. I don't know. It was interesting though. I enjoyed it. Beej.
Okay.
But it was solid. So I mean, we can't plug
the Geek to Geek podcast.
Yeah, we couldn't plug it on Ultima because he's not. Well, he didn't finish all the games, but but here we can. So
yeah, the truth is we forgot.
Yeah, but also he totally deserves to not be there.
Okay.
All right, so this one is from
That's so mean.
Bainstrom. It's titled "Video Game Villains."
Okay.
Good writing can make a video game, and bad writing can break a video game. I have played games where there doesn't seem to be a story at all, and I have played games where there was a really compelling story that had me playing a game that I might not have normally played. Then I think about what are the most important components of a well-written story, and for me personally, I think that a solid antagonist is essential. So on to my actual question. What video game villains did each of you enjoy defeating the most?
Ooh.
Personally, just to stir up some thoughts, he really liked handsome Jack from Borderlands, especially Borderlands 2. When he buzzes in your comm device talking about salty pretzels and Butt Stallion the Diamond Pony, I immediately thought, wow. Now this I could get into. Pagan Min was another villain that stopped me in my tracks. From some perspectives, I cannot say that I even see him as a villain, which makes Far Cry 4 that much more engaging as you play.
Okay.
Great villains.
Great villains in video games. Caleb Craig.
I would agree with his thoughts on Handsome Jack and Pagan Min. Those are both really good examples of just like kind of comedic villains that have a good impact on the story.
Okay.
Right off the top of my head, I can't really think of like too many other villains. So what do you think, Joe?
Well, I'm thinking the fucking Final Fantasy show is gonna like taint me for forever. Kefka from Final Fantasy VI.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big time villain to go defeat, and it feels good to kill him. Like I would say the same thing for extremely tough villains, despite their maybe not having a super strong presence in the game. Exdeath from Final Fantasy V, and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. I would say as well as a villain, I was excited to get to and to destroy. There's a lot of games. I'm thinking there are probably a lot of games where like they just put out a whole bunch of bad guys at the end of the game, as opposed to like one singular kind of force. And I'm wondering if that affects the storytelling of the game, like if you're not as into it or something.
I don't know, probably, because like with when I was playing Destiny, it kind of felt like that, where there was like multiple different
there's
enemies
multiple factions who are led by different people.
Yeah, there's multiple different factions, but like they didn't really have a story until they added like a shit ton of stuff, and then even then it's still like, hey, there's like 4 different bosses.
Oh, I'm thinking like
really feel like
Halo
anything.
or Call of Duty, any sort of shooter
really
like that, where it's about the amount of guys. Like in Halo 1, remember the Jeep ride with the whole bunch of fucking...
Wasn't it Modern Warfare 2 where it was Colonel Shepard, what was his name? Who was originally on your side, was the main bad guy.
Yeah, I think
cool.
certain shooters do have like one main enemy, like in Black Ops.
Oh, fucking great bad guys. Not necessarily main bad guy, although he's pretty cool. But I can't remember his name, so he's obviously not that memorable. Metal Gear Solid 3, with all those boss fights, they're legit boss fights.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, and they're all very memorable. The
Clearly.
end boss fight with the super old guy you're like in a sniping battle with, and you have to track him.
Yeah, that
was
guy's fun.
crazy shit. Love that.
Thinking back to my favorite game, Fallout 3, President Eden as a bad guy.
Oh, yeah, with the Enclave.
Yes, with the Enclave. President Eden, who basically is just... I can't give a spoiler, can I? Even though it's an old game?
You might as well.
Well...
We'll call it the 5-year rule.
The 5-year rule? Okay. So President Eden, a giant supercomputer who has a personality downloaded onto him, is basically President Eden of the United States of America. And he has this goal and to make America great again by destroying all of the irradiated peoples in the wasteland and anyone who has slightly mutated, which is basically almost everyone because they've grown up with the fallout.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so he's saying mass genocide is the way to do it, but the way you can tackle the end, the way you can tackle the end is either you can convince him that his idea is dumb and he shouldn't do it and destroy the Enclave, or you can tell him no, and then you destroy the Enclave and set it to self-destruct, or he works on your side, and then every time though when that happens, a faction of the Enclave splits off. You still have to fight them, but as a bad guy that you can talk to and converse to, and you can even convince that his way is wrong, I think that was really fun.
I'm thinking the bad guy in BioShock as well.
The first one, Fontaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
That was a pretty incredible bad guy.
Yeah, pretended to be your friend the entire game.
Would you kindly?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, a singular good, strong bad guy, I think, is probably more preferred over
having like a
army.
Over a bunch of bad guys. But.
Yeah, one of my favorite games.
As far as the story is concerned, at least.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite antagonists is the dude from Far Cry 3. What's his name? Voss? Yeah, Voss Montenegro. He's like some crazy guy, and he keeps repeating like the same saying over and over, and he's just nuts. He wants to kill your character. He doesn't do it directly ever. I mean, he puts you at the bottom of a pit of dead bodies. Like, the guy's completely nuts, but he's not the main antagonist of the game. There's another guy, like Volker, that's the main driving force behind the conflict in the area. But I felt like that was really cool how they had just this guy who was crazy as the main bad guy. Like, he didn't really... He had motives, sort of, but mostly the things he did were, like, super... extravagant and like just fucking weird. I know Far Cry 4, like he mentioned, the guy in there is basically the same character from when I watched the trailer. I was like, it's like a funnier version of the guy from 3.
And the guy from 3 is just crazy.
Yeah, but I think that's it's solid to have. And what else am I thinking? I don't know. There's some memorable boss fights, like you said, in the Metal Gear Solid series. Revolver Ocelot's really awesome.
Yeah.
I think a really strong villain though, it needs a good backstory. It can't be just the fact that they're crazy. Like, they have to have been driven mad by something legitimate. That's why we'll pick Final Fantasy 7 over 6 every day, is because Kefka's just crazy. I can't accept that.
Okay.
Sephiroth descends into madness and then becomes crazy.
Sephiroth is a fallen hero.
Yeah, he's a fallen hero.
As opposed to just some crooked politician that
takes over the world and destroys it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not as believable. I like to have an enemy that is believable, and I can see where they're coming from, and also why they're who they are. Like, that's what I love about Game of Thrones so much. And Final Fantasy rarely ever can make this happen, where you can see the bad guy's motives. You can see why he would do that. You could see yourself possibly doing that
if you were
to save your
position.
own skin. Yeah,
yeah.
Like the Cersei and Jaime when Bran saw him going at it. You can't let that guy live. Like, they're gonna have your heads, so you have to do something about it. You can't just be like, oh well, we'll make up some story.
I don't think I would see myself fucking my own sister.
No, neither would I. But you can see where some action needs to take place, or you're dead.
Cameron, are you raising your hand in order to talk?
No.
Okay.
He's just so blown away by this.
But anyways, another good example of that is the Institute in Fallout 4. Like, they are the bad guy in Fallout 4, but what they are doing, you can see it as a means to actually make the Commonwealth a better place.
You know what's weird about Fallout 4? Like, I didn't find any faction likable in that one, because like you had the Institute, and then you also had the Brotherhood of Steel, which is like the two big competing armies. And the Brotherhood of Steel in this one reminded me so much of just the Enclave from the third one, because they were
They're
all
bigots.
they were all about like destroying
Purity.
everything that
But
wasn't
apparently,
human. So
no, but apparently, that's how the Brotherhood really was everywhere else besides the DC area.
that's really weird to me.
That they were more, purists than the one branch you see in that area.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. They were both like
So-
assholes wanting the same thing.
Well, the technology the Institute had was by far better, and the Institute could have crushed. And they do crush if you play that certain line.
Whatever one you choose becomes the governing faction,
But-
so it doesn't really matter.
Can we talk about favorite video games? What's your favorite game? Just off the top of your head, Caleb Craig.
Off the top of my head, that would probably be Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay, is there a good bad guy in that game?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Does he drive kind of the force against the hero?
Yes, she does.
Okay. All right.
She's the god of the entire realm, so,
There you go. Cameron, you got a favorite game off the top of your head?
Fallout 3.
Fallout 3. Good bad guy in there, like you said.
Eden.
Yeah. Caleb Schweiss.
Oh man, that's a tough question.
Yeah. Favorite game, I know.
Ooh. It's probably FF7 or Metal Gear Solid 3.
Okay, so strong bad guy there.
Yeah.
Mine would be FF10, which has a kind of different kind of bad guy. I liked how three of us picked Final Fantasy games. A different type of bad guy, but I think it's still a very strong presence. Sin / Jet, Titus's father. So,
Yeah.
I think, obviously, like our favorite games, just out of that little small group. I mean, someone might come up with Mario, but then there's still like
Bowser,
right?
Yeah, I know.
I had a theory like one time where like the only reason that Bowser keeps kidnapping Peach is to like make children. Because they didn't explain until later that like all the like Koopas that he had in his castles were like his nephews. But like it was like, okay, so just Bowser keeps kidnapping Peach to fuck her and make children.
She's a breeder. So
Is that really the backstory on that?
It's a
No.
fan theory.
Oh,
it's pretty solid though.
Like they're like all his kids except for Bowser Jr. are like his like nephews.
Yeah, that's something
So it's
that
like, where the fuck is his like wife and all of his like brothers and sisters? Like, why are they not enemies?
it's something that The Walking Dead, both in video game and show form, brings to question. I mean, you're in this post-apocalyptic area. Is it better for the weaker people to live? I don't know. It's arguable. Like, should we kill them and take their supplies because we are stronger, or should we leave them where they might die, the supplies are wasted, and then we die later? So it's plights like that are what make video games really awesome to me. It's where you can see why they would kill the innocent, because they are stronger and thus shouldn't die.
So you want like a motive that you can logically work through and go, well, he's unfeeling sociopath probably, but he has a reason.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know, and with Game of Thrones, like the reason why we hate Joffrey so much is because there's like zero good. He's almost unrealistically evil, but he's still a solid character because
he is a true sociopath.
he's just completely nuts. But so many people around him have reasons for being evil. I think that's what makes him powerful.
Yeah,
Instead of just, oh yeah, he's crazy, and here you go, enjoy.
I agree.
It makes it kind of unbelievable. I don't know.
So yeah, I agree with Benjamin's thing. I think the game has a stronger story if there's a better bad guy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Or a
the
singular
reason to
force.
play. The reason to play to overcome the bad guy. And if he's an awesome bad guy, then more reason to play.
There you go. Exactly. I completely agree. What do the other people say on the forums?
All right. Let's see. Amerline says, I must say I agree with the Pagan Min as a good villain, and honestly, he was very easy to sympathize with. He, too, had some good commentary over the radio, and similar to Benjamin, that one small thing made me love both the game and the character. Now, there are games where the villains make no sense. A lot of the Tales of series have these villains. They either don't make sense to the overall story, or when their purpose is revealed, it's too late in the game to even make an impact.
Okay, that's a common problem with JRPGs.
It is. Usually really skilled and ultra-powerful villains are my favorite, since they take skill to defeat, so you feel all accomplished and badass after you defeat them. That's Shenmue.
Nice.
Benjamin comes back. Let's see.
What you got there?
Chocobo Chica says, allied master computer from the delightful game I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. It's not actually a delightful game. It's the most horrifying, twisted game I've ever seen or played in my entire life, based on an equally fucked up short story. I played it for the first time around 8 years old and couldn't finish it, but I finally did in 2014. Original Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, each were unique, but the names given to them match and even enhance their unique attributes. And Wannabe says his favorite games have always been Square games and BioWare games. One of the things I love about BioWare games are the extended universe that they create. The original Dragon Age has a fantastic villain, Term Loghain. In the game, he comes across as an
I don't know
asshole
if that's how you say that.
who is taking advantage of the main
Maybe
threat in the game to usurp power. And you spend the better part of the game focusing your efforts on getting to him. And at no point do you think he has any redeeming qualities. But then if you read the prequel book they put out, The Stolen Throne, I guess that's a legit book.
Put out.
But
You get a completely different perspective of his character and motivations. So the next time you ever play through, you aren't thinking, I know this guy is just going to fuck me over. But you sympathize with him and the sacrifices he makes, and you kind of get a different experience with the story.
oh, cool. So that's basically what you were saying about
Yeah.
bad guy motivation.
Yeah, more or less.
All right.
There is one bad guy that I'm surprised we didn't mention, and it kind of changes things.
Who's that?
GLaDOS from Portal.
Oh yeah, GLaDOS is a good one.
Basically, this computer who's this computer who has it out for you, hates you for some reason, and still puts you through all the tests, even though the world's already destroyed outside. And it has no reason to do it other than spite, and it's bored, and it hates you. And then you're going through all those tests and puzzles to get to the end to finally destroy it, so you can get out.
So you're saying there's exceptions to Caleb's rule?
Well, that was a really fun game to play, and the things that GLaDOS would say were really funny. And the incentive to win the game is the piece of cake at the end.
Oh yeah,
And there is no cake.
It's begun.
The cake
Caleb.
is a lie.
It's
The
begun.
cake is a lie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are we going to talk about some MOBA games? Is that the
That is the theme today.
That's the theme of today's episode. All right. Well, let's take a little break and get to that.
All right, so MOBAs, it's funny that I'm the one who's starting this one because I have the least experience in MOBA gaming, which is probably a good thing, too, at the same time, because you guys can tell me all about your experience on it as well.
What does MOBA stand for?
All right, so MOBA, the term actually came after the first quote-unquote MOBA game existed, but it's, let's see here.
So you don't know it off the top of your head.
I keep
Does
getting it
anybody
mixed.
know what MOBA stands for?
It's like a multi-online battle arena. MOBA.
that sounds right.
No.
Does that sound right?
It's multi-online battle arena. But it's not multi. Let me get it correct.
Is it multiplayer online battle arena?
I'm surprised you guys don't know this.
I knew what it was, but like when Joe asked, it just like disappeared.
There's someone at home with their headphones on going, "It's fucking this.
Yeah, I know. Obviously,
Fucking idiots." MOBA stands for Dota, which stands for
Dota.
Defense of the Ancients,
Or LOL.
which stands for League of Losers.
So MOBA, a term that Riot Games coined, actually.
Okay, so the makers
So with
of
League of Legends, MOBA stands for. Come on, I had it right here. I know I get it wrong every time.
MOBA stands for Cameron has a really shitty way of figuring out how to use his computer.
How long have you had that?
I know how to use my computer. Multiplayer online battle arena.
Okay,
So
we had
we
it right.
were right.
Yes, but I was saying it multi.
But then I said, all right.
Yeah, so
Never mind.
multiplayer online battle arena is what it
Same
stands
thing.
for.
Okay, multiplayer online battle arena. Can you tell those who are unfamiliar with what the fuck we're talking about what that is?
It is. If Caleb will not yank out the headphones out of my ear.
Cameron's having technical difficulties today.
So it's a online strategy game where you view it kind of a third person from your character, but you work with a team of 5 against another team of 5 to destroy their base.
Does it have to be a team of 5?
It didn't start out that way, but generally that's the most accepted
That's what it's
MOBA right
become
now.
now,
That's
okay.
what it's become.
And it has to do with destroying towers, and you have
That's League of Legends.
and Dota and home.
And Dota, I guess.
And creeps, little minions, little beasts that automatically.
I guess
spawn
that is
from the
now
other base.
the accepted thing too. But it started out quite simply. It actually started out as a mod. I'm pretty sure some people know this, called Aeon of Strife, that was created in 1998 on StarCraft.
Yeah.
So this guy, he modded it, and he created, if you're familiar with the StarCraft game, where you have a hero, and you would work with the team to destroy the computer-controlled base before they destroyed yours.
Yeah.
So you just worked with your friends. There was no progression, no level up. You just had what you had, and you had to strategically defeat the computer.
So not actually a
No.
online
So this
battle
is
arena
this
then.
is the beginnings of it. It's not an arena yet.
So was this like a super popular mod, or did just one guy decide that this was the thing to mod Warcraft 3 with?
It was popular enough that people continued the idea later down the road.
Okay.
And then in 2000,
It's probably 2003 or 2002, right?
it's 2002, Blizzard released its next strategy game, Warcraft 3. And
a great game, by the way.
yeah.
Warcraft series has always been good.
So like Aeon of Strife, so with Warcraft 3, players were able to, like Aeon of Strife, create with their own tools that type of game mode where they would create a base and you would have heroes and that kind of that progression. And that kind of gave birth to Dota.
Right. So one guy decided to look at this StarCraft mod, make his own mod of Warcraft 3, and he called it Defense of the Ancients.
Correct.
And that was up for years. How many of you guys, because it was like, as long as you have Warcraft 3, not Reign of Chaos, but the ice one.
Dude, now I can't remember.
The expansion to Warcraft 3. As long as you had that, you could go online, download the newest version of Dota from whatever site that it was on. I can't honestly remember. It's been too many years. You could have a LAN party, or you could fight against computers, and you would play this game, which if you've played League of Legends, or you've played Dota 2, or you've played Heroes of New Earth, that's what it is. Right, it's the base jumping, kind of the towers are attacking you if you get too close on the enemy team. You have different heroes that you could that you can get, and each kind of update to that would give you new heroes, and it would kind of mess with the game a little bit. Now, how many of us have played Dota, the original Dota?
Nope.
I remember playing it one time in our friend Colonel Sanders' basement with him. He let me try that.
I was
and
probably-
I could not.
I was
get the
probably-
hang of
So
it at all.
Dota at this point was still a mod of Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dota is still available now. You can, as long as you have Warcraft 3, and I have it. If you ever want to play Dota, I have Warcraft 3.
And so with Dota, did they have character progression? Did they have
Yes.
Yeah,
Did they have
it's just like in
four
pretty much the
lanes?
MOBAs that we know now. You can
So
buy
Dota
items
is
and
now
stuff.
the epitome of what we would call a MOBA. All the expected elements are there.
I never played the StarCraft version of the game, but Dota. When I saw Caleb playing League of Legends, I went, "Hey, are you playing Dota?" And he's like, "No." As if he had like never fathomed the idea of something called Dota before. Dota was
That's 'cause I hadn't played
extremely
Dota then.
popular with kind of the half a generation of gamers before us. And I had Colonel Sanders, Kyle Sanders, this is his actual name. He had Colonel Sanders, and then he was friends with a guy named Tim who lived in my neighborhood, and Tim would
Some
invite
call me.
Tim would invite like 12 people over to play Dota. And Dota wasn't 5-on-5, it was however many against however many.
Right.
Basically.
So as many people who can,
Yeah.
they all play.
Yeah.
But the same size map no matter what.
Yeah, it was the same map no matter what, and it looks like the League of Legends map.
Well, that's the point. They've designed the league. They've designed every iteration afterwards to adhere strictly to that look.
But I remember with Dota, I never got the hang of Dota, despite having played it many, many times. And this guy named Tim, he was really good at Dota, and I think he plays Dota 2 now and played Hone before that. Never got into League of Legends. He's kind of like a purist. Because Hone was closer in terms of difficulty and speed to Dota.
Actual Dota?
Yeah. So Dota, I remember it had so many fucking heroes that you could choose from. Like, there are so many that you could choose from. I remember there being like little. There were every time you click somewhere, like the little guy would say something, basically like they did in Warcraft, and they brought that over to League of Legends as well. I remember that being extremely charming. I remember there being like
Charmed.
I remember there being like 6 different types of dudes instead of like what there are now, where there's basically tanks.
So more roles even that you can
Yeah,
fill.
there were even more roles, and some guys were ranged and some guys weren't, and the range it was a long like
Because now with League of Legends, how they've created roles like you're a tank, you're a glass cannon, that type of thinking has bled into other types of games.
Let me explain though, with League of Legends, it's so nerfed and people are so much more
Nerf,
even.
that's also another term I've only heard used in League of Legends.
It's so much more even than it was in Dota. Dota is hard fucking core.
Yeah, they had no balancing of
the towers will kill you in like 3 hits. And like you could be like you could like barely be in its range. In its range,
Right.
The tower ranges are huge.
But what
and you
I've-
would just get destroyed. And the fucking items cost so much money. And when you took someone down, it wasn't worth nearly as much gold as it is in League of Legends or anything like that.
So with League of Legends simplifying the gameplay, do you think that's what made it more accessible to other
Yes.
people interested in that?
If they made Dota and they just like made a copy of Dota's for the hardcore Warcraft 3 mod players, right? That's the audience of Dota.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to try and like make something much larger with less of a learning curve than Dota, I mean, you do have to go easier on the player.
I wonder, since you said Dota,
and you have to have shorter matches because we had Dota games that would go for 2 hours.
right? Well, that was making me think because you said Dota is however many players versus however many players.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can find a match online that actually has every single character in use during a match.
I think there was a maximum, but I don't know if there was a minimum, frankly.
Well, there's a minimum of none.
I think you chose. I think it was out of 8 you could do, but you could have like a teams 5 against 5 and 6 against 6 or whatever.
Right.
I remember it being customizable in that way.
Okay.
It was also super customizable. You could like have different variants of the games, and it was basically like, how bullshit do you want this to be?
Right.
Because I remember after playing League of Legends for a long time, dude, I installed Warcraft 3. I don't know, after playing League of Legends for like 6 months. I installed Warcraft 3 again on my computer, and I tried Dota. I was like, I don't remember any of this. And it was just sick.
So
It's a
that is
sick
the
game.
MOBA for the hardcore.
It's a hardcore MOBA. I'm sure there's people out there still playing it today.
So
But we would basically have a giant LAN party, and I really miss the LAN parties.
Yeah, me
with League
too.
of Legends, it's like, well, my internet's not good enough for all of us to be on the same thing. So you stay over there, I'll stay over here. We'll talk during TeamSpeak.
Well,
but
you can do a LAN party with League of Legends.
I'm sure you can. We
Well,
just
he's
never.
talking-
It seems less worthwhile though. Like,
It would just be like the 4 of us if we did that.
But this is like pre TeamSpeak that I know of. or anything like that. So I kind of miss those days, but I definitely don't miss the game. Dota is a hardcore game. Do you remember the song Dota?
No. I've never seen Dota.
Caleb,
never seen anything
find
of it.
find the song Dota.
So while he looks that up,
yeah,
Dota really setting the ground for the MOBAs.
yeah.
Comes 2009, there's actually 2 different MOBAs that comes out. One, Demigod, and not very many people might know that because they had several issues with launch that it kind of flopped.
I know nothing about Demigod.
But later that year, League of Legends, of which we've all played, albeit I got in the game rather late compared to you guys. League of Legends felt like a cool game. I just didn't invest very much time in it to actually understand what was going on.
Well,
how did you get into League of Legends?
Christian. So Christian, Caleb's friend here, got in League of Legends, and Caleb jumped to the bandwagon, and of course the group jumped on after him.
Yeah, with varying levels of ability. But yes, we all kind of got into it over like a few summers ago. It was probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3.5 maybe, where we all just played the fuck out of this game. I started a new character.
Too much out of this game.
We started a character. Our laptop sucked. Like it was just, it was as brutal sounding as Dota is, because like you guys would just lag. You would just hit lag spots where like you're not moving, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Of course, I'm really abusive in that game, so that was not helpful.
So you can actually spend quite a bit of money in League of Legends. How much money have you guys spent yourselves?
I've probably spent maybe
So-
$75-$100. I bought some skins.
Caleb's bought us skins before.
Yeah, for like Christmas and stuff like that.
Okay, so you can buy skins, you can really customize what your player does. So you pick a character and you pick a lane that character is good at, because one character has a few roles that they might be able to fill, and then later as you gain money by killing creeps and as you kill other heroes, you get more experience and you level up in the game alongside of getting money that you then use to purchase items to then create better gear for your character.
It's the exact same in Dota.
Because Dota follows the same path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, Caleb actually has the song pulled up, and I remember this song coming out while I was working at Scout Camp. And people, this was like the song of the fucking summer for some reason amongst nerds. But most of the people
Scouts are nerds?
had
I wouldn't
heard
have
that
known.
song, that this fucking song, had heard the song, right? But they had no idea what it was about. And it's about the game that I had played with all these guys weekends and weekends and weekends, right?
All right,
Play a little bit of Dota by Base Hunter, which is actually about the game Dota. And in the music video, it shows him playing Dota. So obviously, we know what
Det
it's
är det enda
about.
ni gör på dagarna.
It's
Ni
not-
sitter där med
it's a
en och
European
spelar
game.
Dota.
Vi sitter här i väntan och spelar lite Dota. I hear you man.
Those are
Vi
character
sitter här i väntan och
speaks.
spelar lite Dota. I feel you man. Vi sitter här i väntan och spelar lite Dota.
You do? Yeah, okay.
Med motståndet vi leker. Vi sitter här i väntan och spelar lite Dota och springer runt och creepar och motståndet vi slipar.
Yeah,
Vi sitter här i väntan.
that's pretty much the song. Anyway, it was
What
like a
language
huge
is that in?
deal.
I think it's Swedish.
Okay, that would make sense.
It's a crappy song.
But as you watch as you watch those computer screens, does that not look like League of Legends?
Yeah, it
that
totally
looks like
does.
League of Legends to me.
Exactly.
Well, I think that was the point when they designed League of Legends, to make it look as much like the World of Warcraft version as possible.
It wasn't one of the designers for League of Legends one of the makers
yes.
of Dota.
His name is Feek.
Oh,
he left.
I'm
he
sure
left
his name
Dota.
is not Feek.
That's what it says
He's
here.
probably changed it to freak. Let's be honest.
When I see it, I want to say freak because that's what my brain puts there, but it's Feek. Feak. So I could probably look up his real name.
Man,
But
Feek that guy.
he joined Riot Games to create League of Legends. And that, I think, is what made the MOBA accessible to all levels of gamers. Instead of the really intense Dota players, now someone who plays a little bit more recreationally can get into it and start to understand the mechanics and the strategy behind it.
And League has gotten huge.
Yeah, it's a big
Yes.
game.
Like
There's tournaments.
like 20 million players at one point.
There's all these tournaments going on with all this money on the line for the winners, right?
Right.
They have esports based around it. And,
So,
so
jog my memory real fast. What are the different roles you can play? So you have top lane, mid lane, bottom lane, and
Jungler.
Jungler. How do those all play together?
You can be like a tank.
yeah, there's
So
essentially
a tank, someone who can take a lot of damage.
there's
Someone who gives a lot of damage without being able to take it.
Well, isn't that a glass cannon?
They
Yeah.
can.
You can do that.
Give damage, and there's a glass cannon isn't necessarily a type of character. It's kind of how you build your character.
Yeah.
So it's essentially building pure damage with no
With no defense.
with no defense.
So
you can just go in
do
there and kill
outrageous
and
amount of
hopefully
damage
get out.
because you've been neglecting your defense.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a hard game to describe. Frankly, it's a hard game to describe because it's a hard game to understand and get into.
So how you guys played the crap out of this game? And
It was
How
mostly,
long did it
for
take
me,
you-
it was mostly out of peer pressure. Frankly.
yeah, same with me. But how long did you feel like you could actually understand the different roles you could fill, and then you've picked your favorite role?
I still don't know if I played the game. Like I've played hundreds of hours
Hundreds
worth
of
of
hours.
Probably more than that.
worth of League of Legends, and I would have to say that I still have like 5 characters that I kind of pick through, and maybe 2 of them that I'm comfortable with.
Okay.
That's
2 characters.
You see that learning curve? It's sick. It's even worse with Dota.
Yeah.
It is even worse with Dota. And I'm sure it's almost as bad with Hone, because Hone, from the little I played of it, is like way more brutal than League of Legends itself.
See, with me, when I first started, you guys were trying to teach me how to play the game. I started playing with the character who appealed to me, but then with the champions, and they switch every so often. I did not want to spend time trying to learn how to play another character, so I did buy the champion that I liked, and I just still, even at that point, I think he was a role that I wasn't quite ready for. That character should have filled.
I'm pretty much good at everywhere except for support. I'm not
Because Caleb cannot just hold back. He needs the kill himself.
well, and the ADC should give me the kill because I'm better. If they can't kill him, I can't be.
What
held
does ADC
responsible.
mean? See, all
It's,
these. It's a very termy game.
It's attack damage carry, so it's basically a physical attacker who is supposed to have the most kills, so they can do the most damage to the enemy team.
They attack very quickly. They're usually pretty soft. They can get killed easily. That's one that I'm pretty good at, and I'm pretty good at top lane, which is really it's just customizable. You can go tank, you can go whatever.
Yeah, and you just hope that the other person doesn't go against what you're weak against.
Yeah, that kind of a thing. Like there are counters in the game. There are characters that do really well against other characters.
Okay.
And,
so certain characters are the bane for another character.
yeah, I mean, you can
So-
still win though if you're better. Like,
And so when you go to pick your characters and you notice what the enemy team is doing, you can pick the one to counteract that character.
and that's not necessarily a guaranteed thing. If they're better than you, they're going to win.
Yeah, and then you always have like support from your team, so they can just like come up and help you out whenever you need it. So
Yeah, it's a very-
that's kind of the point of a jungler.
It's a very team based.
So jungler is the assassin, where he's sitting there, gathering money from creeps, and he's helping his team win bonuses from destroying larger animals, and then he'll use that to then ambush enemy players that are currently focusing on some of your other teammates.
I know that jungler. I'm pretty sure jungler is much more of a League of Legends thing than it was a Dota thing.
Okay.
There were a couple things in the bush, as it were, in Dota, but nothing that you can really take on by yourself, frankly.
I also remember Dota's map being like 3 times the size of like League of Legends.
Yeah,
so
it's fucking huge.
Yeah, so there would be no point of having
And
a
it was
jungler.
brutal, and you didn't have the fucking fast travel. You had your boots of speed, right?
Yes.
But like your boots of speed, like they were just with whatever level your boots of speed were at. And so like it would when someone's destroying your base, you can't like fast travel there like you could in League of Legends. It was like, oh shit, it's gonna take me like a minute and a half to get down there. I'm fucked. Dude, and you have no idea how fast the towers are in Dota. They're just like they're like fucking laser, like the laser beams of death.
Laser beam.
Dude,
so
they're
this
sick.
is kind of turning into what it sounds like: League of Legends versus Dota.
Well,
And-
it's important though because the guys who made League of Legends, I think League of Legends is more important as far as MOBAs are concerned than Dota because League of Legends just like shot through the roof in popularity. It's almost like the rise of MOBAs spearheaded by League of Legends is kind of what made the MMORPG kind of dip.
Probably.
Am I wrong with that? Because I feel like people who were playing World of Warcraft like got on this new thing, which kind of spawned from Warcraft 3. And then it's like, well, no longer paying for that. I have this other game that I can put 4 hours into every afternoon.
And it's free. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best parts about certain MOBAs is that they're just free, and then you can like purchase anything that you want inside the game, but like being able to play it is free.
I'm wondering though, like what like right does Blizzard have to this material? And like maybe that's why it's fucking free because they're like, well, we got to put this. We can't have people pay for this game.
Yes, as soon as if they pay for it, because it's based off of that.
May have the rights to it, and we don't want to get sued.
Well, let's see here. I'm pretty sure League of Legends, they still make quite a bit of money because
Well, they do, but they make money not off the game itself. They make money off of extra stuff that you can buy for the game.
I think that was just the format that the League of Legends decided that they wanted to go.
And so everybody else decided to go with that too?
Well, not everybody else, but yeah, usually that's kind of the way it's been. I mean, like the other one that launched, Demigod, that Cam was talking about that failed, I know that one you have to buy.
And that's probably why it failed.
That's probably one of the reasons, yeah. But
you know, how dare you make a product that people have to buy?
Yeah. But, you know, I think that it being free is definitely one of the reasons that it took off so much, and like all the people who had like played Dota and then it being like,
it's free,
super easy,
it's online,
you know?
it's awesome, right?
Yeah, it's something that nobody had really played before outside of the people who played Dota, which like, you know, was a lot of people, but it was also sort of confined. So with it being like a new free thing, everybody's like, oh, hey, I'll try this new type of game, and then it took off.
So Feek went on to make League of Legends with Riot.
Correct.
And then the other guy who was working on Dota after Feek left, right? Because there was just kind of one guy updating the whole
Correct.
thing. He went on to make Dota 2.
Before we get into Dota 2, there's something I want to mention. Is in 2010, there was another MOBA game that came out called Heroes of Newerth.
Yeah.
And the point of that was to bring it to consoles, but that kind of failed. They couldn't
So it just became a competitor with League of Legends.
They couldn't quite come over into consoles. But there's kind of something I want to mention is now very recently this game called Paragon has come out for consoles, and this is a MOBA game that's up to our current gen console games. And I was wondering, since we all have all this to say about MOBA games, if that might not be something we'd be interested in playing together.
Well, since we're talking
Paragon.
Since we're talking about MOBAs moving on to the consoles, I did actually download Paragon. I haven't started it yet. But there is another MOBA that came out called Smite, where you play as, you know, gods of various religions and stuff. That one was also for PC, but it has now moved on to PlayStation, and I don't know if it's on Xbox, but I think it is. So that's another one that has come over, and then there is a new game coming, I think in May, called Battleborn, which is a different type of MOBA that was made specifically for the console, which is coming out soon. So,
all right. So who knows if we'll play MOBAs in the future?
I think we should give Paragon a try.
Should give Paragon a try.
Yeah.
Is it free?
it is free.
It is free.
Okay. Well, maybe then we should give Paragon a try. I don't know. Do I have to be paying for PlayStation Network?
You might have to.
Yeah,
pay that.
you most likely will have to do that.
Well, that might
You
be
can
a
pay for a month
small
of it.
issue. I really don't want to, not unless I absolutely have to. Final Fantasy 14, by the way, I can play without having to pay for PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they have their own servers, you can do it.
Then maybe we'll have to look into Paragon to see how that works. Since
Yeah,
it's
we
free,
should.
we'll just all download it and see how that goes. It should be fun.
I want to show you guys like the original Dota. That would be.
Well, I've seen it.
Well, maybe
Oh,
Joe.
you've seen it, but you haven't
Well,
played
Joe.
it
I did
recently.
play-
Joe,
well, yeah, not
tell you what,
recently.
Joe, you go ahead and stream it on our Nude Clan Twitch channel,
Dude, it is sick as fuck.
and then we'll watch.
It is like impossible. One more. Like, League came out, Hone came out as kind of a sort of like, let's do the same thing that League is doing, if not what Demigod was doing. Who knows what their background was and why they decided to create Hone. And finally, they decided to take whatever the other guy who was working on Dota and make Dota 2 later on, which has now become a huge success over Steam, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's basically a harder version of League of Legends, less cartoony, whatever.
All right.
Let me explain something about League of Legends. I've only played League of Legends, Hone a little bit, and Dota. There's something about hotkeys in League of Legends, and I wanted to bring this up. League of Legends hotkeys, you basically have 4 abilities per
character
hero, right?
Yep.
And you use the hotkeys QUERT or something.
QWERT.
QWERT. And those
ER, but
and just above those are the numbers on your keyboard. So it's like an easy kind of like, my hand will always be here, every character. In Dota, you still have 4 or 5 abilities. I'm not sure exactly how many abilities you can have. And then you have item abilities on top of that, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, whoever came up with like let's just have their fingers here and every character should do.
Well, you could rebind
Genius. Fucking genius. Because this is how it was in Dota. It would have the spell that you had, right? Say if it was like Scepter of Heaven or whatever. And then it would just like, it would highlight when you put your mouse over the spell Scepter of Heaven, it would have Scepter of Heaven spelled out and then kind of what it does. Or actually, it didn't even really have what it does. You would have to figure that out. But it would have like some legendary description of what it is. The Scepter of Heaven, blah, 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 right? And it would just take the letter E out of Scepter. It's just like, it would highlight the letter E, and then that would be
the hotkey.
That would be the hotkey, and then something else would have Z as the hotkey, and then something else would have a fucking O or Q as the hotkey. So you'd be like, you'd have your hands
all over the keyboard.
You'd have your hands like in this like weird like cerebral palsy, kind of like
okay,
over the keyboard. And so like,
wow.
You just it was awful, dude. And like, I would be playing the game and be like, okay, it's this spell. Shit.
Could you not rebind?
Then I'd have to like look and find the no.
Why? Why would it not?
Because
let you
the
rebind
game
them?
is brutal, and you just have to. If you were like Tim in my neighborhood, if you were like Tim, you would have played each of the characters so much that you knew exactly where the fucking hotkeys were for that character. It is sick, dude. It is sick. That is probably the hardest thing about Dota is where the fucking hotkeys are. And League of Legends just decided, hey, we're going to actually do something smart. So, who knows if the newest updates of Dota are different, but that's how it was back when I was in high school.
With Dota 2, so the same year that League of Legends launched, the person who was working on Dota All-Stars after Feek left, Ice Frog, he was hired by Valve to work on Dota 2. And that did come out in 2013.
Yeah, I remember there being like beta stuff for it. I'm not sure if that date 2013 is like when that was happening. It must have been officially when it came out in 2013.
Yeah, so Dota 2 had about 7.86 million subscribers in the month of April. It doesn't tell me exactly when the month of April was. So month of April after launch or the last April month that just passed.
Here's how I see the 3 games that kind of popped out of Dota. And now there's so many games after League of Legends, Hone, and Dota 2. It's of course sprawled into like, we can't even count how many MOBAs there are from different companies that just put out a MOBA to see if it would like take off.
Yeah,
basically.
Hey guys, I made a mistake. I should correct. Heroes of New Earth was not the console adaptation. It was Guardians of Middle Earth.
Guardians of Middle Earth. Okay.
I found that at DI and then resold it later.
Okay.
It was good.
So Heroes of New Earth. So Heroes of New Earth was just basically a copy of League and Dota.
Yeah,
or based on Dota that came out a year after League. Right?
So Heroes of New Earth originally launched as a full price game. So no one could play it before they bought it. So it went to a free play model, but it was never able to match League of Legends in popularity.
Right. And it still hasn't.
Yeah.
So here's how I kind of see it. Having only played League of Legends and Hone and never bought Dota. Do you have to buy Dota 2?
No, it is free.
No, it's free. Okay, I might try it then. Here's how I've seen it, and kind of what Tim has told me, and my limited experience with League of Legends and Hone. It feels like you get started with League of Legends, right? And then it's like, no, I want a more bullshit community and harder gameplay. Let's move over to Hone. And then, like, the purists were, like, holding off. Like, we're not going to go to Dota 2. We're still playing Dota. Or we're not going to Hone or League of Legends. We're still playing Dota. And then Dota 2 comes. And then those people and all the people who, like, love absolute bullshit
just move over.
gameplay and, like, the hardest difficulty, the most challenge, just move over to Dota 2. That's how I see it. I'm not sure if that's the way it is, but that's kind of how I see the three communities. It's just like levels of difficulty and just like the more into a game you're willing to get, like the further down you go from League of Legends down to Hone down to Dota 2. Is that a fair assessment?
I've heard the same thing, but I have no way of just knowing.
So, just one side note, just interesting note. 2013, League of Legends revenues for the year of 2013 was $624 million.
Woohoo!
And this is for a free-to-play game, which was
Which is why they continue to operate.
the second top free-to-play game in terms of earnings.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is the other one? Farmville?
No. Number one spot is Crossfire, a South Korean free-to-play first-person shooter, which brought in $957 million.
Never heard of it. Okay.
Well, it's Korean, so
okay. All right. So it doesn't matter, right?
Essentially,
No.
Essentially. So obviously none of us are playing MOBAs now, right?
No.
not right
way
now.
too much of a time commitment.
Okay. Why did you stop playing MOBAs, Cameron?
Because here's my story with this. I come into the room, all of you guys are playing, oh yeah, we're playing League, yeah, you should play. You were all playing League. And them already having level I don't know what characters, and they go, no, we'll create new accounts, and play with you. So I'm like, okay, so I hop on. I'm kind of getting the hang of it, but didn't quite interest me. Because they were already so much, even if with the new accounts, they were already so much more levels ahead of me in learning it that I was still behind no matter what I did. And then one time, after a while, I decided, yeah, let's play it today. I'll give it a try. And they didn't want to use their low level accounts, and so they all jumped on with their level 40 was it?
It's level 30.
30
So
is the max,
they're
yeah.
level 30 accounts, and I hop on with my level 5 account. And we go to matchmaking, and then it sticks us into a match against level 15 players.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
And I can't do it.
Okay.
It's just the wrong. It's a violin song, but it was the wrong violin song for the moment.
It's too sad. It's
Nearer, my God.
yeah. So essentially, we once that we hit this point, we got kind of tired of not being able to play against real people, right?
Right, so they got bored because they were playing against low levels and they were just trashing
We
it.
were playing against bots.
And then we get into this match against level 15 players, and they're like, yeah, this is good. They were reasonably enough challenge, but still destroying it. But then I got in top lane with this one level 15 guy, and there's some stuff you can do after you reach a certain amount of levels, like with your chart or whatever you can do with your character. I didn't quite understand that.
The Charmander is the one.
No, your chart. Like,
Oh,
what is
your
that chart? What is that
Oh,
chart?
the runes.
Yeah, the runes. I have no idea what they are. That's something that sticks with your character as you level up. I was going against this guy, and I was being all like, okay, well, I'm not going to get too close. I'm only going to attack him as soon as he gets past my turret, whatever. I'm just going to start, mining off of these creeps and get gold and stuff. But somehow he would always dive into my turret's fire, destroy me, and then dive back. And that happened about 5 times before I was just, no, I'm done, and I left the game.
So you're just a puss. I got it. All right.
No, because what happened with League of Legends, when an enemy character destroys you, he is fed, and the more times more kills he has, the more powerful he becomes. And so all I was doing was making him immensely strong for the level he was at, and which destroyed you guys later.
Well, we were not doing very well ourselves, so
Yes.
it doesn't really matter.
So why did you quit or haven't nearly played as much as you used to?
well, I probably haven't played a match in like 6 months, but
Okay.
I think in my match history, I have one from probably a year ago. It's been very sparse. And honestly, it's just a mega time commitment. They're always patching. They're always making small little changes, tinkering with the characters' moves, the range, the items. And for me to actually be what I was born to be, I have to play it all the time.
A diamond?
Yes. And
What are you now, Caleb?
Silver.
I was silver, yeah.
4 or 5? What was it?
I'm probably decayed down to bronze again. But
Okay.
I got up to silver 2 at one point, and that was about as high as I got. I stopped playing. I just get tired of it. Like, it's so frustrating. I mean, the community is so bad. Like, I am an asshole, right? But I'm normally pretty okay to people in the game. And the problem I run into is when they're like, oh, report this guy for feeding, which is dying a lot. And it's like, what if he's just having a bad game and you guys are just being fucking pussies and trying to get him banned for not being good with that character? It's about playing. It's about learning to be good with it. You don't have to be a fucking prick and say, oh, I'm going to report you because you had a bad game. And it's not even a bad game. There's games where you do great on your minions, which are little dudes that spawn from the base, and you give a gold to kill. You can do great on that, but still die to the enemy player, and they're just better at the game. Sometimes they're just better. And this community of fuckfaces doesn't acknowledge that ever and wants in their pimply little fucking lives, so they just assume, oh, well, you're just bad, so I'm going to report you. Because that's how you get better at a game. You get banned so you can't fucking play the thing. That's exactly how I got better at it. It's so fucking dumb. Like, it's full of a bunch of cowardly...
The community is terrible, and I turned off the chat at one point.
They're so toxic. They're just a bunch of fat pussies that sit at their computers playing this game, protected by their monitor.
Who tries to pick up the game now will have a real hard time getting good at it.
Well, there is early level stuff.
And enjoying the verbal abuse.
Yeah, like, it's so bad. It's so fucking bad, and it's like, we're all trying to get better at this.
I think,
I'm
honestly,
level 30.
most of that shit comes out of, well... rankings, which do count in that game.
They do if you're playing ranked.
Yeah, if you're playing the ranked games, it's especially
it's stressful,
competitive. Yeah. And if the games weren't 45-minute matches, and now I know Dota was a lot longer, but
yeah,
I mean, League of Legends at 45-minute matches, that's like you have a huge time commitment for losing a game.
Right, especially if you're
an
doing
8-minute game of like Call of Duty online doesn't fucking matter as nearly as much as a 45-minute game of League of Legends that you could be ahead for, 4/5 of it, and then suddenly things get turned around.
If they kill your whole team, they can push to win.
So I feel like the poison in the community spawns from that.
Yeah, and
the fact that the games are so long that yes, the time commitment is sick.
You get
that
emotional.
It's like, you get emotional over it
because you're doing well, but you did a bad move, and now everyone's losing, and it's like, oh my god, like why? Or someone fucks up in a team fight, gets caught out in the open, and then you lose the game even though you're up by 20 kills. That's harsh. You know, there's times where if you just turtle and kill minions, you can come back from almost anything in that fucking game. And it's frustrating because you're like, oh yeah, we're going to trash them. And then everybody dies in their base and they just come destroy your base. And it's like, because that one guy
all
messed
your
up.
base are belong to us.
Yeah, because that one guy messed up one time, everybody lost the game. This game that they were all kicking ass in, one fuck up, which is what makes it so beautiful at the same time. Because when you're able to make them fuck up, it's just like, oh my god, so beautiful.
Yeah,
just such a
it
work
does
of
feel
art.
like you won something when you win a League of Legends game.
Yeah, you remember that one game where Timo got disconnected from us and we were playing 3v3 and then you and I destroyed the other team?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a major comeback for us and it just felt so fucking good
or
just win that.
So there was one where Christian and I were pushing their base, right? Our whole team was in there and I died pretty early on and I had teleport up. And I was like, Christian, throw a ward down, which is an item that you can use to gain vision on the map. And I was like, throw it down, throw it down, throw it down. And right as he died, he throws one down, right? I spawn again. I teleport into their base. The only thing left is their main thing. All 5 of them are in my base just trashing it. And I sold all my AP items. I made it pure attack damage. And I teleported in, and I was able to beat it. I was able to win solo. And their whole team was in our base. No one saw me. It was just orgasmic. I was freaking the fuck out. My girlfriend was getting pissed at me. So shit like that is what makes it amazing.
Yeah,
but it's so toxic that I don't even want to play it. Like, it's just full of a bunch of fuck faces. Worse than me.
Well, so with this MOBA,
Let me hold on. We're still talking about why we quit. I quit many times throughout, mostly because I would be over TeamSpeak or in the room with Caleb Craig. Now, Caleb Craig got super emotional for League of Legends.
Just as much as Caleb.
I have never been that. I think there's been a couple times where I've been like pretty pissed off. I don't get that. I don't actually get that sort of I'm going to be pissed off for hours because of this game.
Insert 12-year-old rage scream.
I never get into that mode. Right, because there's games, and then there's like anger at a game where you might like throw a controller at the ground and say "fuck this game," but it's not like I'm gonna get so mad I'm gonna verbally abuse my friends who are playing this game with me. But I would, as kind of the weaker player and kind of the one who came up later, I would get constantly verbally abused by Schweiss and by Craig, and then I would be abused in the community by the chats if I was feeding, as you would say, feeding, and I'd be like trying a new character, and it's just like, well, fuck trying new characters because everybody's just gonna get pissed at me.
Yeah.
So there were many times where I've been like, you know what, you guys get too emotional over this stuff. I gotta quit this game for now.
Well,
and then I'd come back to it, and then
like you guys said, it became way too competitive. People expected you to already know what to do, no matter what.
Right.
So if you're not pulling your own weight, then you're immediately cancer to them.
Admittedly, the last time we played, it was a lot more fun. Like we were freaking out, but we were freaking out at how like bullshit the enemy team was. Like we'd be trashing somebody, just all of a sudden get hit from across the map from something, or I don't know. I think we've gotten better as far as the level of anger we're willing to put into the game, and I think it's because we approached it more casually this time.
Yeah, we
the
didn't
last time
care
we got
about
in,
it
it
as
was
much.
like
That's one of the reasons I never really liked to play the ranked games with Caleb, is because he would always get so fucking pissed off about it. And honestly, I would too, because like I would not want to spend an hour to just get fucked and then have my rank be even worse than it was, just because like somebody else on the team decided to be an asshole and a troll, which happened a lot in the
like
lower ranked
if they're not getting their way, they'll just stop playing the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And they'll just harass you in the chat.
How often do they introduce new champions?
For League of Legends, I believe it's monthly.
Yeah, they've
So-
got like 104 or something like that.
So if you're
now.
playing
It's
as a
lot.
brand new champion that just was barely released, is there still, and you're not doing as well because you're learning this new character, are there still people who get down on you for that?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely,
Oh, yeah.
because the new characters are expected to be broken as shit, and everybody is just like, well, why aren't you doing good? You're the new guy. Like,
Yeah.
they have like insane damage capabilities.
They don't
like,
know
why
how
the
to.
fuck?
They don't know how to initially program anything over there. So like the new guy is the fucked up guy, and I mean a lot of it is because no one knows his moveset, so we're all fresh
You
to it.
nerf herder.
But a lot of it is the fact that some of them do come out and they're very unbalanced.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's in the other way. Sometimes they're not strong enough.
Well,
They do poorly.
they do testing. Like the League of Legends has a public beta thing
Yeah,
that
we were
like
on that.
I've been on a couple times. And that one is always broken with the new characters. I mean, and that's when they try to like balance it out, but it's never quite enough.
They should have a mode that's like the original version of the character mode. Like, it's the anti-nerf mode of League of Legends.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think they should have.
Everybody plays whatever character at their first iteration of it.
I'm not sure if they brought
Wow.
it back, but I really loved Ultra Rapid Fire mode.
Oh, they do every April Fools, so it's coming up soon.
I love it so much. It's where basically the cooldowns are cut like 95%.
Yeah, so you
So-
basically can spam every ability.
Yeah,
Well,
Constantly.
don't you in some part of you feel like that's how the game should just be played?
I think so. Yeah, it's so fun.
It would be
Because doesn't it-
extremely hard for beginners to get into.
yeah, the biggest learning curve ever.
Yeah, it is amazingly fun though, and I think it
So
should
the only
just, like,
reason it
always
is
be a
amazingly
game mode.
fun, the only reason it's amazingly fun is because you guys are used to playing it the normal way. So when they do this, it makes it just that much more fun.
It's
Yeah,
so
but I think it would
fast-paced.
like always be fun because like it's super fast paced. Like a 45-minute game becomes like a 20-minute game, and then like it's just so much better in some ways because it's like you're not even that mad that you got fucking killed because it's like
'Cause it's a joke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's
an
super
onslaught coming.
bullshit.
It's an orgy
So
fest out there.
it tones
Yeah, like
it tones
the-
down the cancer. A
Yeah,
little
there's
bit.
like
because it makes it more fun.
Yeah, there's like a character named Karthus that can like hit every other character on the opponent's team like at once.
Yeah.
And with like the ultra rapid fire mode, like it just fucking does it like every 30 seconds. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, everybody's just gonna die.
Or the Urgot guy where you've got the homing missile that increases his Q attack. I can just hit the Q like 3 times a second, and it's got range. So I would just fucking slaughter people. I just like hit them with the range cap thing and just, and they couldn't do anything to me. It was so sick.
Yeah, there's nothing that
Such
can
a blast.
Stop
You guys.
What?
I feel like I could bring this up now. The worst screenplay I ever wrote, ever, based upon the tragedy of Othello by William Shakespeare, is based upon League of Legends players, professional League of Legends players. And it has to do with like their team. So instead of it being about the wars, which is what happens in Othello and kind of like these army people.
Yeah.
It's about League of Legends players. So I just wanted to share that. It is an awful script. But I can say I tried to make a movie out of this subject. What were you going to ask earlier, Cameron?
No, I was just going to kind of change the subject.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
So with this, with MOBAs becoming so popular, there is just new one after new one coming out. And one I wanted to mention was one developed by Blizzard. So it comes full circle.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Heroes of the Storm, HOTS, for those...
Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm. Do.
Yep.
Anyways, this one comes out. I don't know too much about it. I know it has an 88 on Metacritic. Favorable reviews. And I'm just thinking, with the way League of Legends is, maybe the answer to get your MOBA fix is to just try a new one.
Try a new MOBA.
To see if the cancer hasn't yet developed there. So
in that community.
Because they don't know what's going on yet.
Heroes
I feel
of
like the
Storm.
longer the game is, the more poisonous the community is.
Yes, exactly, because it's becoming too competitive as time
Right.
goes on. It's the same thing with any game. It's like me and Caleb, we've played Battlefield 4 before, but we bought it again more recently to play on the PlayStation, and it's just insane. You can't play it anymore. It's just turned into much of a fuck fest.
Well, that happens with like pretty much any game that's been around a while. Like every time like there's a Call of Duty game, and then the new one comes out, the only people remaining on the older game is going to be the people who are really fucking good at it.
Well,
who have like been playing
It's
it
like
since the beginning.
it's like me going back to World at War, the best Call of Duty game, and I get my favorite sniper, and I get in my favorite spot, and I'm sitting there ready, and I see some movement in the bushes, and I see this head poke out, kind of at a weird angle, but I snipe at it, nothing happens, but then this full Japanese body comes swimming out of the bushes and swimming through the air towards my sniping post, and he swims through my window, and he's looking at me, treading air in front of me. And he swims off into the distance. And there's nothing I could do.
Off into the sunset like a fucking badass.
I remember playing Modern Warfare 2 and I got heavily like hacked, and like this was like before I even knew that it was like hacked, and it just like I joined the game, and then like I just kind of jumped.
And then you jump forever.
And then everybody just jumps like super high into the sky,
Yeah.
and then as soon as they hit the ground, they die. Except for like this one guy.
Well, I walked into one that was a dude had the AC-130 upgrade just endlessly. Like the map was just getting nuked all the time. I spawned and it's like the frames are dropping because the game can't handle the bullshit that's being thrown at it. And then, and then there's also a time where I did the jumping thing, but they fixed it to where I would land and be fine. But I knifed a guy and I got like 1,000,000 points and I just leveled up max just instantly. All my stats were ruined. The only thing that remained was my KD ratio. Everything else was pure 9s. It's annoying. And yeah, like you guys were saying earlier, you run into the problem of if you get into these games late where the community's smaller, it's very strong. They're very good at the game. Like Age of Empires 2. The people that play online are way better than me. So much better than me. And it's frustrating. I can't get any better just playing online. So it makes it tough. MOBAs, I feel like, do a decent job of it, but I think League's matchmaking was still kind of broken.
So,
yeah,
just a side note question. Do you think League of Legends and other MOBA games fall underneath the freemium title, where it's more of like a pay-to-win type of game?
No, mostly because like with League of Legends, the only thing that you can really purchase are skins, and then you can like purchase the champions like ahead of time, because you can still earn points to buy them just by playing for free. But
is there a way in the game to buy a certain item or buy runes or anything that can kind of give you an edge?
I think you can buy runes, can't you?
No, you can only buy you can only buy runes with the points that you earn by playing the game.
Are you sure?
You can purchase like extra rune pages for like that will allow you to put like more runes in there, but like that doesn't really change
Honestly,
anything.
though, like except for the very beginning of the game, runes are kind of
I had no idea what runes are for.
They're minimal.
I don't think so at all. I think they can make the
But
difference.
later in the game, they do make a difference. But when you're first starting, they don't.
See, I think it's when you're first starting they do make.
Yeah. Oh, late. Oh, are you talking within the game?
Yeah, within the game.
Oh, I thought you were talking like when you start out as level 1, the runes suck. I'm like, no, they're great. No, you're right. They get shitty by the end. They're almost.
So it's like the better runes you have at the beginning are what help you your team kind of get forward at the beginning.
No, I'm talking like runes on your rune pages that you do.
Those give you minor stats.
Right, but you don't buy those, is what he's saying. You have to.
You have to earn them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to earn pretty much everything.
You can buy characters,
and then can you purchase in-game currency with real money?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can.
Wait, no. You mean for like the in-game like gold?
No, not that.
No, not currently in the game.
There's RP,
but the currency to purchase runes and stuff.
No,
in between
you can't.
matches.
No.
You can't.
Not for runes, but yes, for skins and characters.
Yeah, so you can. It's Riot Points and LP or IP. I don't know what the fuck that one stands for, but the Riot Points are the ones that you spend money on.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that you can buy a champion. You can buy skins. Normally, I just buy the skin. Some of them are fucking awesome, like the beatbox Cho'Gath one, where I just like turn on these stereos.
Yeah, that one's pretty sweet.
It sounds pretty sweet. Hey, guys, do we have any news at all? I looked up PlayStation news, and I got to tell you, there's nothing. It's all about the virtual reality thing.
Yeah, we got to.
Yeah, that's all I've been seeing.
Is that like the biggest news right now?
That and then like
besides
with
Final Fantasy 15,
PlayStation, Xbox online discussions are going on.
The PlayStation Xbox thing.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we hope they bring that to the table and are able to reach an agreement on that. I think that'd be great.
Yep.
Maybe the Xbox would sell a few units in the process. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, Xbox news are more just how much Xbox is falling behind PlayStation. Oh, actually, in PlayStation news that I'm surprised Joe didn't say, there will be a PlayStation 4.5.
Wasn't that the VR thing?
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
VR.
How many times do we have to talk about the VR?
No, it's not the VR. It's not VR. It is 4K gaming off of the PlayStation 4.
Oh, it's a super powerful.
Yeah, I mentioned that last time.
Okay, you did?
Yeah.
Because last time it was just a rumor, but it's more and more being confirmed now that it's either going to be PlayStation 4 Slim or PlayStation 4 with enough processing power to project some games in 4K.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have anything either.
All right. Well, shall we give PHAT?
Yes,
Might as well.
All right, Caleb. How's everything hanging?
Everything's hanging right in its place.
Shriveled into the
Everything
left.
has been in its place.
Yeah, trying to catch up on the movies that I've been behind on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. How about you, Joe?
Wait, how are the movies going?
The movies, I'm still behind quite a few. I need to like spam a shitload.
I'm in a similar situation with the movies, and it's just because I'm super busy. But let's wait for my rant later on
These New Year goals are turning into New Year fails.
Well, how you doing on them, Cameron?
Well, I've been to the gym, I think once last month.
Nice.
Not even this month, not yet.
Nice.
And which is sad because I pay a little bit more than just the average gym membership price. So I have been paying the consequences, literally paying the consequences.
Have you still been paying for the personal trainer and have not been going?
Yes.
What about
part of the package.
Wow.
Okay,
Yes.
you need to
What
stop
about?
that.
I think the first
I
thing.
can't cancel it. I have to go.
Then go.
I know. That's what I've been saying.
I think the first thing you need to cancel.
You don't have
is
appointments for those?
No, you do, but you have to go in and schedule it every time.
I think you should get rid of the watch insurance first. I mean, you don't even need to bring it to the
Watch insurance?
$40 a month watch insurance. If your watch breaks while you're in here, we'll cover it.
What's the watch insurance?
He's fucking with you.
I
Cameron.
know.
But yeah, that's not very often. I would cancel that for sure, dude.
You can't. It's a contract.
Well, then deal with the contract.
And then I have to go. I know. I need to go. The thing is, with how my hips are rotated, this is something I actually require to get the strength back to keep my body in alignment. Okay. And so it's doing me a disservice by not going.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like you need to go then.
I do need to go.
How's the book reading?
I am reading 2 books right now. One from the Wheel of Time series, one from the Tom Clancy series. And I am on par with reading books right now. So we're good there.
How's the finance?
I have my finance book on my coffee table in my room.
How's that going?
I haven't touched it for a while. I haven't touched it because I ended last paycheck so far behind. I'm just like, nah, I don't want to keep looking at this every time.
Yeah.
That's so depressing.
The pain.
So I fell behind on that, mostly because I didn't want to keep, I'm still negative.
How about you, Caleb?
Well, you know what? I have not lost any weight really. I've been kind of just chilling. Yeah,
the weight.
I bought a treadmill for my grandparents. Hopefully that'll help.
His 1980s treadmill.
Yeah, it's great.
He can wear a full body sweatsuit while he runs on it.
It's true. With a swooshy,
with a sweatband across his forehead.
Eye of the Tiger playing.
Should I get you a Thigh Master to go with it?
Yeah, probably. I need to build them up.
You're going to get one of those helmets that certain people wear when they like power walk.
What, are you calling me fucking retarded? Is that what you're saying? You think I need a helmet?
Maybe.
Fuck. All right, so yeah, that's not been going too great. I'm doing great in school. I did. I failed my family name and brought dishonor. On a recent exam, I got 40 out of 50.
Wow.
Oh man.
And 80. I know.
What a bitch.
I know. I almost just seppuku'd at the spot.
It's almost a C.
Yeah. It's yeah. So, but everything else is going great. And I've been kind of watching more movies lately. I finally watched...
Thought movies weren't going to be your goal.
Well, I'll still talk about them.
Okay.
We can't all handle 40 minutes of show.
Okay, all right. Without 40 minutes of Caleb as well.
And now it's movie talk with
Lies.
Joe.
You know what? So I finally watched Unforgiven, the 1992
Fucking awesome movie.
Clint Eastwood. Yeah, it was great. Oh, he's such a badass. Oh, man. Really solid. And then I watched Batman v Superman.
How was that?
Not so solid.
Not so solid.
Yeah,
That's what I've been seeing. I even tweeted out there. A few people responded to me. Some say, yeah, they've enjoyed it, but just don't expect much.
Yeah, that's about what I'd say.
As soon as I saw fucking Man of Steel, I'm like, nope, any other thing is just going to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 31% on Rotten Tomatoes for Batman vs. Superman.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was fucking right.
Is that Zack Snyder's lowest rated?
I think it might be.
Lower than Sucker Punch?
What was Sucker Punch?
I don't know. We'll have to look at it later.
It's pretty fucking terrible to have like a big budget movie like that get a 31%.
Yeah, especially with the hard-on everybody has for superhero movies lately.
Okay, I agree with everyone. Batman is awesome. He is by far cooler than Superman, but just the logics behind Superman, Batman
it's 29% now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Click on Top Critics real quick.
Dude, I don't know if you want to see it.
Do it. Oh, even 26.
But the
audience has it at 73.
That's because they are mouth breathers.
It might be. That's just fucking sad to me.
I want to see what Zack Snyder's
fucking
lowest
ruined
rated.
Sucker
Batman.
Punch. Sucker Punch is his lowest. 23.
20, so it's like not even that far away from
And
Sucker
It's not.
Punch.
That's fucking awful.
And Dawn of Dead was his best movie.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. I like it, but it's not that great.
I liked Watchmen quite a bit. I
did too, actually.
Yeah.
300's
Watchmen was a really good movie.
He's got 3 fresh movies.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen, and 300. And their 300's like barely fresh.
Yeah, it's 60.
That's just.
Not good.
I feel like he should just not make movies anymore.
I liked Watchmen quite a bit, and he's got a very interesting visual style. It's just
There's some great quotes in 300, just epic. But the slow-mo every 10 seconds.
I'm not saying I don't know if he wrote or
That's true. He might not have much control over that. He can always cut it, but
still, how do you mess up such a good superhero story? This is a fight that tons of people have been waiting for. Superman versus Batman.
You can fuck it up in many ways.
I know,
Cameron.
but
Yeah, it's
People think that it's like easy not to fuck up something. It is so easy to fuck up something. In fact, it's a miracle when a movie is good.
all right.
Okay?
Just defending Zach here, aren't you?
I am defending Zack Snyder. I don't love his movies, but I don't hate them either. I just,
Who do you think would have been a better director?
anyone.
See, he seems to
No,
think that
because
someone did a better
mostly
job.
because of fucking Man of Steel, dude. I saw that and I was so fucking disappointed. Like that I was like, no, this guy should never just like touch a superhero movie again.
I saw Man of Steel and thought it was
didn't
okay.
you like Watchmen?
I did like Watchmen, but you know what? Watchmen like is good, but it still doesn't make up for the fact that Man of Steel was terrible and shit,
Well-
and that he was going to make a movie that was basically that again, but worse.
I don't think Superman 4 was that great either. So
Superman 4 is not that good now.
I mean, it's not like Superman.
And
some
Superman
god.
Returns is not that good either.
But do you think Bryan Singer's a good director?
He's all right.
Made Superman 4, Usual Suspects,
He's all
the
right.
X-Men movies. A lot of them anyway. Yeah, I think Bryan Singer's a very good director. You just, sometimes they just have bad movies. Like, that's just what happens. Sometimes, for whatever reason, whether it be the studio, the script, the director, the actors, whatever reason,
Yeah, but
it's
Zack
not as
Snyder
good.
doesn't exactly have that great of a track record.
You can argue that. I'm not.
You
can argue that.
I honestly don't know how he still has like the ability to make movies.
Because
Just
his movies make money. That's all that matters. It does, the critical score on this stuff
Nobody
does
cares.
not matter.
Who's top of the box
fucking
office
does
right
matter.
now?
He's top of the box office right now.
No, who is?
He
right
is.
now, today. Zack Snyder.
Yeah, he probably
Yeah,
is.
because
Isn't-
it just came out like 2 days ago and it's a
Isn't
huge hit.
Zootopia still at the top?
Well, yeah, it
is
is
it?
right now. They don't have reporting done yet.
Oh, they don't have. I bet it's not gonna beat Superman.
It'll beat it.
Batman.
Yeah, and Superman v Batman will beat it, no doubt. But you know
But
what?
think Dawn of the Dead, 300, Watchmen.
But see, Zootopia,
Actually,
though,
Watchmen wasn't
Those are
a hit.
his three best movies. It said
Watchmen
the top
wasn't
four,
a hit.
and Man of Steel was one of them, and it was 56.
Yeah, but you got to realize that we have
And not one of them has broken above like 80. I think Dawn of the Dead was like 79 or something like that.
I'm talking about money. I'm talking about money. 300 was the movie that said, "Oh, you could actually put a movie out in the spring and it can make money." Like it made over $100 million. So
Yeah, I
like,
saw it. So
yeah,
I didn't.
that's a big deal.
I've seen it, but not
for the
in
movie
theaters.
industry.
I didn't see in theaters either.
I don't know. It's not that important to me. I wasn't that like. I don't really give a shit about superhero movies. I mean, I'll see them if they're good. That if I hear that they're good, I'll watch them. But like, my care for superheroes is pretty much zero. Versus, so like,
I don't care about
I'm not
Superman
like
as
I'm not
much,
like
but it's
itching
like-
for the next superhero.
I think
Anyone
when
that
the
hurts
superhero
Batman
movie
just
thing was
fucking just
when the superhero movie thing was fresh, the idea of it and watching them was really new. That was fun.
Like with
But-
Spider-Man 2.
But Spider-Man 2, Iron Man was amazing, but now it's kind of getting old to me personally.
It is getting old.
yeah, I've kind of had a vendetta, hoping they fail.
I personally am sick of the fact that DC refuses to allow Superman and Batman to be on TV shows simply because they're going to put them in movies. And that really fucking shits me off because I just want a Batman TV show. That's like all I fucking wanted since the 60s.
You've got Batman TV shows that you can watch.
The fucking cartoon ones. I want a fucking live action one. They can fucking do it. They proved it with Arrow and The Flash and like various other ones
Daredevil.
like fucking Daredevil. Yeah, they can fucking do it. They have the ability to. It would make them more money, but they're like, no, let's not let our two biggest money makers be on TV simply because they're going to be in movies. It pisses me off.
Yeah, they could do alternate universe stuff just fine.
They do that. They accept that it's a different universe, but they're like, nope, we're still not going to let it happen.
Well, Marvel's been doing that with like their minor characters, right? Instead of
No,
their
Marvel,
major
like,
ones.
everything that Marvel is putting out right now is connected.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
All
like
right.
even Daredevil, that's all in the cinematic universe.
Okay. I didn't know Daredevil was Marvel.
You didn't know Daredevil was Marvel?
I thought it was DC.
It had fucking Punisher in the new season.
I just assumed it was dark, that it was DC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. My I've never read a comic in my life. Comic ignorance. I'm sorry.
Wait, did you not see the original Daredevil movie with
No,
Ben Affleck?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Well,
so
that
you're
would
mad
explain
about Ben Affleck being Batman?
No, yes.
I think he's better at being Bruce Wayne than the
Christian
last
Bale?
guy. Yeah, easily.
Yeah, I believe that too.
But I don't.
I believe
have a-
anybody is better than Christian Bale. I did not want him to be Batman either.
Well, I think he's the best
I liked
Batman.
Whatever.
So far.
He was good in it. I'm just saying I don't like him.
That's logical. No, I think we all forget about.
Fanboyism isn't logical,
about,
man.
He's
It
talking
isn't
about his
logical at
feelings,
all.
so it's not logical.
Yeah.
So whatever.
You got to remember Michael Bay, though. This is a guy that has one
I
positive.
do
movie
remember fucking Michael Bay
in his
and
career.
it's shit.
Okay.
There are worse.
Can I talk about my
He,
week?
he ruined two things, man. Transformers.
You're
and
always
fucking
talking about your week, Joe.
Ninja
Can I-
Turtles.
Can I talk about my week?
Yeah,
'Cause
go ahead.
It was a sick week, all right? And I did not get the time to watch Batman v Superman. I don't know. I'm mildly interested in seeing it, to be honest. But I'm still mildly interested in seeing Man of Steel, and I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I have it if you want to borrow it.
So you hate it, but you bought it?
Yeah, they have all the Superman movies.
Idiot. That's the reason why they keep making them, and why they're not concerned with how shitty they are, is because people still buy it.
They're concerned with how shitty they are, because if they put a sequel to Batman v Superman, it won't make as much money if it's not good.
Yeah, I suppose, but
But they're not as concerned as what they are making money, and they're going to make money on this movie no matter what, right?
Yep.
Like the hype is so like huge behind it that
Yep.
it's just going to be a huge movie.
It's gonna make money.
I mean, it'd probably be $200 million less than it would have been if it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Because people would view it multiple times, and people are going to still go out and see the movie. The amount of movies I watched this week was zero.
Oh, how did I know?
Because I had the most stressful fucking week of my life.
Why don't you tell me about it?
I will tell you about it. First off, it started with a lot of class stuff on Monday and a lot of prep for Tuesday. I shot a commercial for the Redneck Back Scratcher. And so I had to get all the gear and everything together on Monday to go do that on Tuesday. And I was having trouble getting like people together, but I finally got them together. I took my sister's van and we all drove up to Ogden to go shoot the commercial. And the commercial, tons of people there. The lighting, it was terrible lighting. We had to deal with all these fucking little problems with the lighting in the area. And so then we had to light it ourselves, and we had problems with camera movements. We had to change that up. So basically it was just like a really buggy day of shooting behind that. And so that was a pain in the ass. And I got home at about 3 a.m. that night. I get up the next day and I have to do a script analysis of someone else's screenplay, and so I work on that. And then just through the week, Wednesday night, I'm doing the color correcting for Redneck Back Scratcher through DaVinci Resolve, which is a program I've never used before. So I'm learning how to use it, doing all this color correcting stuff so that the commercial looks decent despite our lighting being like just a pain in the ass on the night that we shot the commercial. And then, so I was doing that up through Wednesday night. Then Thursday, Jesus Christ, Thursday. Okay, man. I have another short that I'm shooting on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
At least we thought we had. I'm working with a couple other people to get this short going. And our lead, we have been looking for weeks for a lead. And we had set up everyone to be at the place to shoot the thing on Friday. We had a sound guy, we had a director of photography, we had other people helping out with the group stuff, and we had all of our other actors all lined up for Friday. We fucking Thursday night, the night before, we're like, we don't have a lead. We have no one. We have a character. His name is Thomas. We do not have a Thomas. And we're freaking the fuck out because we got so many people coming on Friday. And it's like, we have nothing if we don't have this guy. This guy is in every single scene. We can't shoot one fucking scene without this guy. Okay? And so it was like, I got a call from Will, who's my producer. And Will goes, hey, so we have all these people. we might have to shoot something else if we don't have a Thomas. And we were thinking, I'm like, oh, okay, dude, if someone else, if like Will, if you take over directing duties, I can play Thomas, or I can play the friend, and we can have this other guy who was not an experienced actor play the lead. And it's like, well, you know, if we have to, we'll try that.
I could have been your Thomas.
I don't think so, because you wouldn't. Well, I guess you were sick on Friday.
Yeah,
but I knew you had work, and we were shooting.
I've had
during the day.
some acting experience.
Plus, I would need you to shave your beard because Thomas is supposed to be a high schooler. Thomas is a high schooler.
Albeit, I would look like a high schooler if I shaved. I would not shave.
Let's see. I would shave.
Okay.
I was going to shave for the thing. I'm just going to look like a big fat high schooler. Yeah, I look like a child when I don't have a beard. And so, fuck, we didn't have a Thomas, and then William was like, and this was at like, I had just gotten back from a couple classes at school, and I got this call, and it's like, we're fucked, basically. We are fucked. Unless you come up with a script. And I'm like, Will, how about we both try to write something tonight, and we can come together. And Will's like, look, if you're directing, there's nothing I'm going to write that you're going to get as excited for as the thing that you write. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll write then. So I did speed.
Another way of saying
I did
don't want to
speed screenwriting from like 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And I wrote this like 15-page script based around the resources that we thought we had. Then we all do a conference call together, and we're like, okay, all right, so we got this girl and this girl from this time to this time, right? And it's like, no, actually, we have one of the girls only half the day. And it's like, oh, that would have been great to know. And so we have this other script with like 2 female leads throughout the entire short. Mm-hmm. And the short was about how our short failed, basically, just with women, because we had the 2 girls that were supposed to be in the short, just not the 2 guys. Or we had one guy and not Thomas, which was like fucking us over real bad. And I was actually kind of proud of what I had written in like 3.5 hours.
I was listening to him read it to himself.
I was reading it to myself.
Very emotionally reading it to himself.
Because I would like to hear as an actor would say it. That's why, Cameron. And so it's like, oh, fuck, yeah, let's film this thing. And then it's like, oh, actually, we don't have this actress until this time. And then we had some other actress, and we're like, okay, we'll just use her. Is that like midnight, right? And we're filming the next morning at 8 a.m. We're going to get up and film this fucking thing. And then it's like, okay. And then Will, all right, we're ready. We're good. Will sends out the stuff for all the crew and all the actors and everything. And of course, the one other actress that we were looking forward to is having like, because she was like actress number 3 that we didn't really need for the other short, but now we really need for this short.
Yeah.
She cancels on us.
They just
the night before.
How important this is,
and so it's like there's a good monologue within the script I wrote about how so many people want to be actors but yet won't fucking show up for these short films, right? And it's all about their schedule and I'm just too important. You know?
Yeah,
it's like you don't want the fucking experience of having like a close up and you having to do working with the director and working with staging. You don't want that experience? Okay, fine. Go fuck yourself. I'm never going to work with you again. Your name, I have your name right here in my head, gone. If I ever see your name, showed up for another audition, you're fucked. Do you understand me? If you say, yes, I'm on, and then quit the night before, you are done. You are done. No one's going to fucking work with you, ever.
You're going to spread the
no, they're blacklisted from anything that I work on, or Will works on, or Nick works on. The other people that were working with me on this project.
You should create the blacklist in the theater group.
There's a blacklist. there's this other guy worked with this because like Nick, he knows kind of everybody, and so Nick we would look at actors and we'd be like, oh, Nick would go, oh, this guy worked with this guy, don't hire him. And it's like, okay, we won't hire him, we won't use him. And that's how it works, man. So if you're an actor out there, fucking show up. That isn't show up and don't be a diva. That's basically like the rules.
How can you be a diva in college film?
I don't know. If they're college students, they should not be divas. They should just be like, "Oh, it's an opportunity to act and add this to my reel." Right?
They don't have anywhere near enough experience to even be a diva to claim that.
They suddenly have stuff for their reel if they help us on these things.
Exactly.
And they're fucked otherwise, right? No one will hire them because they don't have a reel, because they don't have experience. So why the fuck people do this, I don't know. But that's what happened, and so we had to cancel Friday night. Or we had to cancel Friday, like, that night. So I'm sure some people got up in the morning early to, like, work on our thing, saw the email, and, like, we're like, oh, it's canceled now. So, yeah, I had an awful Thursday. But what that meant was that Friday completely cleared up for me, and so I played Crisis Core all day.
So I need to set up my reel, it sounds like.
Yeah, you need a reel, you need a headshot, and you need experience.
Joe, you have all that for me ready to go.
I'm not editing your reel together for you.
You can just give me the raw
me.
footage. Give me the raw footage and I'll put it together.
Okay, that's fine. So anyway, yeah, Thursday night. So Tuesday was super stressful. Monday was like working for the Tuesday thing. Wednesday, I just have class until like bullshit at night. And then Thursday was the most stressful day I've ever had in my fucking life, working towards the Friday shoot, which was eventually canceled. So I made an entire new short fucking script for something that's never going to happen. And so we had to postpone. We might be shooting this Friday because we may have found a Thomas, but who knows if the other actors are going to be available. That's all for Will, that poor guy, the producer who has to like figure out all the people's times and everything. He's the guy who's going to do that. Listen, if you want to be an actor, if you want to be a crewman, if you say you're going to show up somewhere and you don't, you're fucked. I'm not the only one who does this. I'm not the only one who goes, okay, never.
Right.
Everybody does that.
If you're not, you can be dependent
if you're not into it, if you're not in it, you're not in it.
It's just they see this as not being important. They see this as just some college kids thing I was just going to do. And if anything else comes up, they just forget it because it's not important to them.
Because they're not being paid. I get it. They're not being paid. So if you're not willing to not be paid and do this stuff, then don't.
You'll never get paid.
I mean,
for
this
it.
isn't like 100% professional
for a crew.
But this is still above backyard filming as a kid. This is actually
we got a crew.
This is you are beginning your career. This is your beginning experience. You need it.
Yeah, we got a crew. I'd like the same fucking crew that worked on the commercial. It's people I trust.
Right.
And it's like, well, okay. I now know that a certain person who canceled at the last minute is now never going to work with me ever again.
Have you ever told our listeners where they can find some of your shorts?
It's not everybody. They can find like shitty little ones on YouTube.
What about Brokeback Bakery?
They can find the masterpiece that is Brokeback Bakery. They can find that on YouTube, I guess. But yeah, Jesus Christ, dude, the worst fucking day of my life on Thursday. It was just the most stressful bullshit thing. So yeah, it is a miracle because I would otherwise be shooting for like 12 hours that day. It is a miracle that I got to play as much Crisis Core as I did.
Yeah,
because I was expecting this week to be like a stressful thing, but I was expecting Thursday night to be like, oh, I better make a shot list, and do some storyboards so that I'm ready. Instead, it was like, oh, fuck, I gotta write. And it's like, oh, think of something creative, and Jesus Christ.
Yeah, your writing is not...
With all the resources we already had.
Well, you had somebody else writing the initial script, right?
Mm-mm.
Was it you?
I rewrote someone else's script.
Oh, okay. Jeez, wow.
Yeah, it was a pain. It's a pain in the ass.
Well, that's what's probably most frustrating about it is that you have to write the thing. Like, that's not even what you want to do.
No. It's not, but I'm a better writer than the people around me. I know that's something, isn't it?
Is there like no writer?
No writer talent? Is there?
You read my Emmanuel's song script, haven't you?
Yeah, that one's fine. That one's good.
Yeah.
Well,
that one, dude.
I read through that script and I'm like, wow, this is the interview parts, Joe, are amazing. You did this really well. You have the cops being jerks, being nice, the whole dynamics, and then come to find you actually just cut the transcription from the actual interviews.
It wasn't that simple. It wasn't like that. It was
It was a screenshot, and then
it was a
you
2-hour interview that I
Right.
decided to take down into a 15-minute short.
Yes.
So not as easy as you think it is.
I know,
Cameron.
but just the way the cops were interacting with the subject, I thought it was really good, and come to find out it was real, which is why it was good.
One was good cop, one was the bad cop, and the bad cop. I switched lines when people said things and everything like that.
I know you did the order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I did the fucking words. Not all the words were word for word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck you. Was the rest of it not good?
No, the rest of it was good. But no, the rest of it. So, Joe, the rest of it was good.
to use
But
it at some point.
but that interview part was so good. I wanted to mention it to you especially,
Oh, okay.
which was funny because the part that I really wanted to praise you on was
was the part that was that was
real.
that was
real life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable. I know that's the best part of that script. And that's why I wanted to make that short, which I have not. This is not the same short. This is like
I know. Yeah.
totally different thing. And I hope to make that one, but we have to.
I'd love to play my part in that short.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad.
We can get security guard uniforms.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. No, that short is something I really want to like hone in on and
Yeah.
make something special out of. This other thing is still a thing, but it's
Would we ever get to film on location? Would that ever be possible?
in the Salt Lake County.
No, it wouldn't be Salt Lake County. It'd be more like
Just AJL.
the Draper Lehigh Correction Facility.
That's a prison.
You know,
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Like-
That's all up to.
I know it's a prison, but that's the setting.
That's my producer who's got to figure that stuff out.
Okay.
I'm a director. Okay. Okay.
Well, aren't you director producer for your own stuff?
No, I try not to be.
Well,
Producing's the thing.
you're gonna hone in. You're gonna hone in on this screenplay.
Yeah.
But is this going to be for school, or is this going to be
This. I think that's going to be my thesis film.
okay? So you
frankly.
will have an actual producer,
Yeah.
and so since this is your thesis film, it's going to have to be
And I got one.
good on location.
There's
is
like
my
a
opinion.
there's like a group of people at the school who like approve and disapprove scripts, and I already got one of them to approve it. But the problem is the subject matter of some of that script is really harsh.
well, it hits
And I
home.
don't know. There may be some problems. Like I showed my sister that script, and she was not happy. She was like, "What? This is like, ugh." There's some there's some religious stuff in the script
It hits,
that may
it hits
be
very close to home here. It
yeah.
does. And you have a message at the end. I know you said you didn't.
It's not a message.
You
It's
didn't
just-
want there to be a message,
It's symbolism, but it's not a message.
but people will pick up on that message.
There are
nonetheless.
differences.
There are differences between a message. A message is when someone turns to the camera and goes, always be there for those
Yeah,
you
but
love.
what did you mean for that symbolism at the end?
I meant it to be kind of, I don't know exactly what it means.
But you know how people will interpret it.
I know that there's a, this is so, there's no way someone who
No, yeah, no one's following this at
have
all.
any idea what the fuck we're talking
You should
about.
post your screenplay online.
I don't want to post my screenplay online. It's like something I want to protect, actually.
Okay.
Like, I don't care about my other really shitty screenplays. They can be posted online as like something not to do. But like that screenplay, I'm really proud of that short. And so posting it online is not a good idea. It has something to do with a very famous Mormon crazy guy. And the symbolism has to do with his connection with Joseph Smith. And that possibly is or is not offensive.
I think
very small
more,
detail within the script
More of it was
that my sister picked up on and was like mad about. Will, my producer, was like, this is really what the professor, like, this is what he said was amazing. He was really surprised because of that part. He was like, he approves of this? I'm like, yeah, he approves of it.
college teachers approve free thinking. They want people to think outside the box.
You would think, Cameron, you would think, but sometimes they don't. And
Well,
so
that's their own opinions getting in the
we're
way.
concerned with that being like the thing, but like this script that I wrote, I think it's like Sundance quality. Like it's
So maybe for your thesis, you will enter it into the Sundance Film Competition.
I would like to, yes.
So let's make that a goal then. That'd
Yeah,
be fun. So I can be in a film that actually more than us watched.
Yeah. There you go. I'll have an actual director of photography instead of someone just like holding it handheld.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, crazy fucking week. But yeah, video games. Awesome. You can find us at nudeclan.net, which will take you over to ultimatefinalfantasy.com, and you can join our forums there. You can go to twitch.tv/nudeclangaming, nudeclanpodcast@gmail.com, facebook.com/nudeclanpodcast. For Facebook, it's spelled NEWD. You can tweet me at Joseph DeGollier.
And me at Obsidian Bar.
Me at Nude Clan Cam.
And me at UFF Podcast.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, enjoy the nude.
May the
Always
list go
the
on.
nude.
Fuck off.